Welcome to episode 16 of the Amiibo Newscast. This week's guests are TJ and Dark TJ from Smash Supremacy. And here are your hosts, Lauren and Amiibo Jason.
Good evening, Amiibo and Nintendo fans. Welcome to what episode are we on? 16?
Yes.
16 of the Amiibo Newscast. I am one of your hosts, Amiibo Jason. You know me from Amiibo News and NintendoInquirer.com. I'm here with my partner in crime, the better half of Amiibo News,
Lauren, also known as Happily Candied. Good to see you again.
It's good to see you too.
Yeah.
How's it going? It's been ages since our last newscast, it seems.
At least a whole week, at least.
At least an entire week.
Yeah.
It's exciting though because we have a special guest on for a new show that we're going to be featuring on Amiibo News, our YouTube channel. And I think I misspoke. It's two special guests.
Two special guests. We want to make sure that we emphasize that.
So who do we have, Lauren?
Well, I know for sure that we have someone named TJ here with us.
So we have TJ.
Yes.
And I thought I heard there was Dark TJ coming as well.
I think so. I'm pretty sure that's the other one. So I don't know. Maybe we should get them on here.
I got the official piece of paper here. It says we have TJ and Dark TJ from the hit show Smash Supremacy that you can find on Amiibo News' YouTube channel. So how you doing, TJ and Dark TJ?
I'm doing fantastic, guys. Thanks for having me on. And I'm pretty thrilled to be here, too. The better half of Smash Supremacy, I don't mind saying.
I absolutely love it.
Yes, This is a thrill for me, actually.
I think. Oh, yeah. You're swooning. I can totally see it.
I am. I think it's over Dark TJ.
Yeah, you have a thing for Dark TJ.
I do have that effect on the ladies.
Yes. It's just, very charismatic.
I think so too. Don't worry, I'm gonna.
Those are the pit bulls over here. They're here in fireworks. For some people, 4th of July has not ended.
Yeah, that goes on sometimes near me for like 2 weeks.
We just assumed Dark TJ was having a dog fight.
Yeah, right.
He is all about the fighting.
He is.
Who's not?
So I'm probably just. I'll edit that piece out.
Don't worry about it.
I edit these things like pretty crazily. So.
That's cool because chances are I will probably say something embarrassing about myself, or I'll say something embarrassing about him.
I can dig that. And I will probably keep that in then.
I've had to do takes on segments before, like multiple takes. And they're easy. They're ezy segments, and I just cannot get through them without making mistakes.
I just have to learn not to cuss.
That is your thing, yeah.
I just beep it out.
Yeah.
With cute Nintendo sounds.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
All right, I'm going to hit back into this then.
Please do.
All right. So we have TJ and Dark TJ from the hit show Smash Supremacy. It's absolutely amazing to have you on. So I just wanted to kind of give you the opportunity to discuss Smash Supremacy, what it is, and how long you've been doing it.
For sure. When Amiibo were first announced, I was super pumped, and my background is in fight coordination, and I've been a martial artist since I was young, and I just love Nintendo and fighting, and Smash Brothers is what really married those two things for me. So I've been playing it since the first incarnation of the game, and I was really fascinated in the potential of what Amiibos represented for Smash Brothers, and at first I wasn't really sure how accurate Nintendo's description of what it did in-game was. So I thought, I gotta test this out. As somebody who really is fascinated by fighting and who loves these characters, I want to test them and see to what capacity they actually can learn and what growth means and how they develop in-game. And that evolved into the idea for a show. So I started initial animations in December, shortly after they were announced, and started developing it. And I made a few mock-up battles of who I thought would be cool, and it just sort of evolved from there. And I thought it would be much more interesting if instead of just me talking all the time, if there was also some sort of if instead of me just talking all the time, there was some sort of antagonist who can drive the conflict. Inherently there's conflict with fighting. I thought, how spectacular would it be if there was also conflict between the hosts? So that gave birth to not only TJ, but also Dark TJ.
So
I figured if Link could have a dark incarnation of himself, why couldn't TJ have a dark side?
So is this Dark TJ? Is this somebody that's been kind of around with you for a while?
Well, somebody described it to me after they had been watching the show. They're like, you're not really either of them. They're like the two angels that sit on your shoulder, or spirits that sit on your shoulder. And TJ is like the young, youthful, exuberant, excited, childlike version of yourself.
Yeah.
Where everything excites you about Nintendo, and everything excites you about fighting. And Dark TJ is really bitter about how unbelievably difficult it is to acquire a stupid $12 piece of plastic.
Yes.
Yep. He fits in well.
He's super irate that he has to order half these amiibo from Germany. Germany! I can't even read German, and yet it's easier to sift through Amazon DE than it is to try to find these things in my own country.
You know what I really love about this pair? I love that we have both ends of the spectrum here. We have the people who are completely supportive of Amiibo, very positive. I try to be that on that end of the spectrum as much as I can. But then you also have Dark TJ, who is everybody else who is just so upset about the shortages and all the problems attached to Amiibo releases.
Yeah, that can be me.
That could be you, yes. So you're really a great representation, or both of you are a great representation of just the whole Amiibo community.
But more me.
Yeah, more you.
More him.
I think it's been really therapeutic, actually, because throughout this process of trying to find in many ways the matchups are decided not just by who would be cool to see fight, but also what Amiibo I can get my hands on, and not just in terms of the release schedule, but just attainability. And if I'm completely honest, there are points where I found it tremendously frustrating. So to be able to channel that frustration without having to, I guess, suppress myself has been really nice. Because I could say whatever I want.
I that has to be therapeutic.
Yes.
It really has to be.
Yeah.
I need to point out, though, real quick, I love the show. I remember Jason Greer showed this to us when we were in LA.
Mm-hmm.
We were at In-N-Out Burger, and he was saying, "Oh, you have to see the show." So I was sitting having my very first In-N-Out Burger, watching your show on my iPhone, like outside on a patio, and fell in love with it. And Greer was like, "Oh yeah, he wants to do one with you," and I'm like, "You got to be kidding me! I want to do this. I have to be on this."
He was seriously really stoked about it.
Completely. So it felt really natural after watching all the episodes that this would be such a really cool fit to have with Amiibo News and Nintendo Inquirer. So we ended up reaching out to you, and I'm sure you know this. And now you can find all the content available on our website and on our YouTube channel. So if you're listening to this on YouTube, we're going to have a link down in the description on where you can find Smash Supremacy. Again, I love the show, so it's really awesome having you on tonight.
And I really appreciate you guys having me here, and I cannot tell you how grateful and appreciative and thrilled I am to be a part of the Nintendo Inquirer family. I was a fan of you guys first, and that's why I reached out to Jason Greer and then subsequently you guys. And while I'm mentioning Jason Greer, it is worth pointing out the tremendous amount of courage. I don't even know if he's aware of how much trust he put in me. I just said, hey, answer these 3 questions and send them to me. You don't know who I am from anybody. I just randomly reached out to you and answer these questions and I won't hang you out to dry. And once he gets the episode back, he has no idea the script that I wrote around what he said. And let's be real here. You can't put a leash on me. I say whoever I want about whoever I want.
Oh my God!
So he showed, he really represented the Triforce of Courage in that episode, and once that one was built, I at least can use that as a reference point to indicate to other people, hey, this is what's happening. So you have some concept, but he didn't see a single drawing, he didn't see a single frame. He just was like, oh yeah, sure, that sounds fun, I'll do it. So God bless Jason Greer. That kid is got some major spirit.
I don't know if I can put that on our podcast. It might give him a little bit too much of a big head if he hears it.
I'm pretty sure that's already taken care of with Jason.
I think so. It could be.
Well, he has a pretty big head, doesn't he?
It's true. We've met in person. It's pretty big.
God bless you.
Yeah, I saw that the grand reunion. He did that epic Yoshi dance. I laughed for about 3 days.
He's my boy, though. Jason Greer, if you're listening to this podcast, and you better be, sir. You're my boy.
Yep.
You know that.
It's true. It's true. That's all Jason refers to as Jason Greer, my boy.
And Josh Brown,
And
he's
Josh
my
Brown.
boy too.
Yes,
Now
yes.
TJ and Dark TJ, you're my boys too. So I got lots of boys.
Lots of boys.
Got lots
Yeah,
of boys.
Dark TJ wasn't sure what to make of Josh Brown at first, but then he became our campaign manager for Dark TJ's vie for presidency.
Oh my God.
Yeah, hashtag Dark TJ for Prez with a 4 and Prez with a Z, because that's how I roll.
You've got style.
Grace and style.
Yes.
You know it, baby.
So we actually have a really good amount of content to cover for how slow of an Amiibo week it's been. I do want to touch base on one thing in particular before we go too far into this cast, and this is something that we were not expecting to talk about at all tonight. In fact, we were hoping never to discuss this, but we got news earlier in the day that Satoru Iwata had passed away, and we know he's been sick for some time. It turns out he had a bile duct growth, and I'm not even sure exactly what that is, but it doesn't sound great.
It was related to a tumor.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it wasn't anything that we were anticipating talking about, but we kind of felt it wasn't right to go through this entire podcast and not address this, because this man was really integral into Nintendo and my life and Lauren's life and TJ, I'm sure your life too. So his passing was completely unexpected. So I wanted to take this opportunity just to express just kind of the immense sadness that we feel for this. And we debated tonight not even doing a newscast because it just didn't feel right. But that's not the spirit of Nintendo, and it's never been the spirit of Nintendo. Nintendo has always been about joy and happiness, and that's what we want to do tonight. And we know people enjoy the newscast, and we do have fun things to talk about. And hopefully this will be kind of a reminder of what he brought to Nintendo.
Yeah. I mean, he brought memories, and he brought a wonderful history of games, the general joy that he brought to the table for not only the community, but Nintendo as a company. It's so important, and it's something that Nintendo is going to carry with it for the rest of its future and its new history that's about to come. So we just want to tell Nintendo and all of its fans that we're grateful for everything President Iwata has given us. So thank you. And TJ, what are your thoughts on this?
I really respect the bold decisions that Mr. Iwata has made with Nintendo. He never shrinks against criticism, and oftentimes people sling things Nintendo's way, but instead of folding under the pressure, this is a man who inspires and rises to the challenge. And I myself was very heavily inspired by Mr. Iwata, particularly when they did the Nintendo Smash Brothers Mii announcement at E3, not this last year, but the one before, where he fought Reggie. And that was kind of how they broke the news that the Mii was a fighter in Smash Brothers. And I watched that from my living room with my jaw on the floor. I'm so thrilled with fighting, and I never expected to see the president of a company, particularly one as big and respected as Nintendo, throwing down in a down and dirty battle in a suit and making ridiculously over-the-top moves. It was awesome. And you do kind of come to expect that kind of thing from Reggie because he is that type of personality, but in no way did he outdo Mr. Iwata. I was so inspired by it, in fact, that the teaser trailer I made for Smash Supremacy is almost a shot-by-shot reconstruction where TJ represents the role of Mr. Iwata and then Reggie by Dark TJ.
I know one of the other things, too, that it's really important, I think, for both of us. Again, you're very heavily influenced by Super Smash Brothers. And again, so was I. That was one of the first Nintendo 64 games that I played competitively. And he did work with HAL Laboratories, and that's one of the... That's actually the creator of Super Smash Brothers. I mean, it was absolutely fantastic. So I still remember the intro for the original Smash Brothers with the HAL logo. And again, he had such an integral part of everything, at least that I had. Like, I held dear growing up. I know Lauren is a massive Earthbound fan.
Yes, and the fact that he had any hand in the series at all means a lot to me. So I'm going to carry him and his influence of the series and his influence on Kirby as well with me for, the rest of my life, because he affected me in a very positive way. So, wherever you are, Mr. Iwata, I hope you're happy and that I just want to let you know that I'm grateful for everything.
And,
your legacy will live on.
That is absolutely certain. And honestly, I think this is as sad as it is, a decent segue into our next topic, which is Customs for a Cure. So Lauren and I are going to be attending a Customs for a Cure event in Tennessee in the next couple days, and this is going to be something that we're going to be doing with the good folks over at St. Jude, and they're one of the absolute best cancer research hospitals for children. It's an absolutely amazing cause. If you're not familiar with it, on YouTube, if you're listening, feel free to go into comments, click on the link to our Customs for a Cure page. You can find everything out about the event there and St. Jude. Otherwise, if you're listening on iTunes, NintendoInquirer.com, you can find that there. But we are going to be going to St. Jude to shoot some promotional work for the event. The event is actually going to be kicking off in just over 2 weeks at this point. So that's on the 24th and the 25th actually it's just under 2 weeks, isn't it? So the 24th and the 25th of July, we're doing a 24-hour charity marathon. We have some of the best custom artists in the business that are going to be donating pieces. We have raffle items. We have prizes. We're going to have a good time with this. It's a very serious cause, but that doesn't mean we can't have a lot of fun raising money for St. Jude. So we have lots and lots of giveaways and prizes, and we actually just recently picked our top 10 finalists for our worldwide Amiibo tournament, which is insanely exciting in my opinion. This is something that
is awesome.
I am extremely, extremely excited. In fact, 9 out of 10 have already shipped their Amiibos to us, so we are very, very close to having all of them at this point. But we have Lucario, Pikachu, Kirby, Greninja, Luigi. We have 2 Jigglypuffs, and actually we have 2 Kirbys too, and Mario that are going to be joining the fight on this one.
If you want more information on that, you can find an article on NintendoInquirer.com. So feel free to hop on over to that article to get more information about those 10 finalists.
And my biggest
lucky for them, the Dark TJ Amiibo is not out yet, or he would clean house.
You would clean house. It'd be crazy.
No competition.
And if I can sing your praises for a second, when I first heard, and this is going back to your first Customs for a Cure, that you were taking this passion for Amiibo and the interest in customizing it, and you were finding some way to channel that interest into something to positively benefit other people, it actually undid a lot of the bitterness that I felt about the difficulty of acquisition. I'm like, this is a guy who's got his head on right. He's taking all of that stuff and he's finding a way to somehow use it to profit other people, and I am all about that.
And that was something when we did our very first Custom for a Cure. It just started where I liked painting custom Amiibo, and I was terrible at it, but a lot of people weren't. So we actually partnered with Evolos, and he was the very first person that we did Customs for a Cure with, and he was kind enough to donate 3 pieces to the event. It turned out, something that I never really expected. It turned out to be a lot more popular, and the fans absolutely love a good charity, and they love custom Amiibo. So we wanted to do things a little bit different this time around, and I think we did. We have some absolutely amazing pieces for this, and the 24-hour marathon is going to be absolutely fantastic. We have bad games that we're playing. We're going to be playing Yoshi's Woolly World. We have giveaways. We have raffles.
Oh, don't even get me started on Yoshi.
You can't be so bitter against the Yoshi Amiibo. The Woolly World Amiibo are so cute.
Oh my god!
Some might say they're cuter in person.
Every Yoshi Woolly World Amiibo and make myself a Yoshi suit so I can use it to set myself on fire.
That is dark TJ.
It's very,
even for you,
very extreme.
we have all 3 of them right next to us right now. Actually, I was about to go pick them up, but I can still see them from here. They are so cute. I love these things so much. But we're actually
he still hasn't quite recovered from that Yoshi episode.
No, I can see that. You guys got to go see that Yoshi episode too. That's going to be on our YouTube channel soon. We're actually in the process of uploading all of the back catalog of Smash Supremacy right now too. Woo! But the good news is, if you want to follow our event live, you can follow it on Twitch. Our Twitch handle is Amiibo News, so feel free to follow us on Twitch, and you can watch the entire event. We're going to be tweeting it out live as well. The tournament that we're going to be doing for the Worldwide Amiibo Tournament is going to be taking place on the 25th, starting at 3 p.m. Central Time. So if you want to tune into that, feel free. We think we're going to have a blast. So
definitely going to be a good time. Yeah.
Cool.
So excited.
So that's Customs for a Cure. The next piece was unexpected. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the Mewtwo Amiibo that was seen at San Diego Comic-Con this year. I am nowhere near California. You live in California, TJ, so you're lucky.
Sure do.
Did you make your way over to Comic-Con this year?
I went the last few years, and I decided not to go this year because I do live in Los Angeles, and to get to San Diego on a good day in regular traffic is about 2.5 hours to 3 hours. On San Diego Comic-Con weekend, it's a 10-hour drive. So I was like, no thanks. Yeah. And nothing against San Diego Comic-Con. It is a fun atmosphere, and it's great to be around all these people who share similar interests with you. But on the first day, you got to grease yourself just to be able to slide between the bodies because of how densely packed it is. And that's fine enough for day one. But on day 4, after Stormtrooper Man hasn't taken his suit off for 4 days, it is quite the experience that I do not care to repeat.
I still want to go at some point.
It's definitely worth doing. I think you should get yourself out there if you can, but just
be prepared.
I don't know where I'm going with this. It's not.
It smells.
It's not all fun and games.
Smells. It smells. I get it. I went to
Comic-Con
in Chicago
is
called
super fun, but it has a dark side.
I can imagine. We have an event like this in Chicago. It's called C2E2, and I went last year, and the smell was interesting, just to say the least. But
that's where I'm from. Actually, it's from Chicago.
Nice. I love Chicago.
I like it. It's just so I'm not a city person. I'm a suburbs person, but I love the events that are held in cities like Chicago and Los Angeles and San Diego. So I would totally make the trek there just for an event like that.
But they did not
a little
have
more specific. I did grow up in a suburb that's north of Chicago, so I was within driving distance of the city, but I didn't actually live downtown, which makes you appreciate downtown a lot more when you go there because you don't have to deal with it. Traffic. People think traffic in LA is bad, and it is. Yeah. But when you're on the loop in Chicago, hopefully you're not in a vehicle. It'll take you 2 hours to drive 2 miles.
That's sad.
Sounds like the best of both worlds to me, though. Living just right close enough to it.
I'm jealous of
the best of both worlds, just like me.
I'm a little jealous of you because you were at least in the same state as this Mewtwo amiibo that showed up at Comic-Con, though. I got a really good view of the Mewtwo amiibo from our announcer that you heard at the beginning of this episode, Jared Rutledge. He was actually at Comic-Con and took some amazing photos of this Mewtwo amiibo. It's bigger than I anticipated it was going to be. He's hanging off of the base, which is really, really neat. I think he's actually one of the wider amiibos that I've seen. I think it's just his massive power stance that he has.
Yeah, a lot closer to Bowser a little bit. I would say Mewtwo's a lot thinner, and Bowser has that girth to him, but definitely the width would match.
Oh, for sure. And he's menacing looking.
He is.
His tail hangs off really far out the back of this thing. I'm actually really curious. Do you think this would fit? We did a Hori review not too long ago for the Hori cases. Do you think this thing is going to fit in that Hori case?
Well, if he's Bowser's width, we tried Bowser and he fit just fine. Yeah. So, I mean, I think so. And it's interesting when I look at these pictures, with the stance, the powerful stance that he has, I would almost imagine him to have more muscle on him.
Yeah.
It looks like he's about to like really flex or something. But even with the thinner limbs, though, he has this very powerful presence.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And he's got this massive like plastic stand holding his tail up.
Yeah.
I don't know why I see this thing falling off the base. I completely
As I'm looking at my shelf of Amiibo, even though Bowser's got some serious width to him, I think when you take into consideration wingspan, I wonder if Meta Knight and Charizard don't occupy the most mass.
Yeah.
That's true.
So if they fit in your cases, then I would be willing to wager Mewtwo will have no problem.
I think it's going to be okay. Mewtwo has a massive special place in my heart. I remember going to see Pokemon the first movie. I was hyped for Mewtwo and Mew to be on screen at the same time. Mewtwo was my favorite Pokemon card. He still is my favorite Pokemon. I love Mewtwo in this way that's very, very difficult to explain. So seeing him here in this pose for a $12 figure is amazing. He has the detail that, like, I think it was Figma or Bandai that came out with this amazing Mewtwo figure not too long ago, like for $50. And this thing looks like it has more detail than that thing does.
And it's not going to be $50.
And it won't be 50. Well,
well, it might be.
Not at retail price, at least.
Hey, Jason, have you seen the Mewtwo Genesect Pokemon movie?
I did with the female Mewtwo.
Yeah, and that really surprised me. And at first, I didn't even know that it was Mewtwo. I heard my daughter in the background saying Mewtwo, Mewtwo, and I'm like, that's not Mewtwo. Mewtwo's a boy.
Yeah.
And I guess technically Mewtwo is genderless, but it seemed odd to me that they went that route. So I was really curious when Smash Brothers released if he would sound like he sounded like in previous incarnations of the game, which are a little bit closer to the first movie, or if they were going to reflect how he's being represented in the more recent anime. And so I guess the nostalgic side of me is happy that he still has a male voice sound. But did it turn you off a little bit? Like, it's every time I listen to it, it's not that I have anything against him being one gender or the other, but because I have that expectation of him sounding how he first sounded to me, it's really off-putting to me. And every time it takes me out.
I think it's, I'm not necessarily off-put by it. I just think it was, I'm a 90s kid. And Pokemon, the first movie, I saw like 5 times in the theaters. I bought it on VHS. I still will watch Pokemon, the movie. It's outstanding. So I think it's just different that Mewtwo had a different voice than we remember as a kid. He was very, very refined in the first movie. And in this, like, if I remember right, in the second movie, at first she was really confused about her surroundings. I think Mewtwo in the first one was as well. So it was just really, really different. But I think it was interesting for like a brand new audience to get a different feel for what Mewtwo is. So I'm just happy that they're focusing so much time and effort on Mewtwo in the new stuff. Like in X and Y, there's, Mega Mewtwo X, Mega Mewtwo Y. I think that's great. I mean, keep Mewtwo coming. Yeah. At least in my opinion.
Yeah.
I was all like, what is going on? Is that Mewtwo's girlfriend or something?
It could
be. Make another one?
I like that. That could happen.
I like that idea, yeah.
Well, the other thing is at this point, too, is we know Mewtwo's not coming out this year. We saw the release map at E3, and Mewtwo was slated for a 2016
sure. Mewtwo
release.
Is not going to be a 2015 release.
2016.
Oh, man.
Same thing with Lucas.
That's a long wait. I mean, to have the prototype floating around out there and knowing that it's not going to actually hit store shelves for, quite a few months. That's a hard wait for fans.
Yeah.
It's not as crazy as releasing Ganondorf in every other territory and making the U.S. wait till September. What's that all about?
Well, that's why you just got to import it like we did.
Right.
So did we.
You just have to do it.
You have to. That's insane to me.
We had a bit of a discussion about this on last week's podcast, and I might have gotten a little bit heated, if I remember correctly. So I don't think I'm going to relive that too much, but the import thing is it's a little crazy. I've had some time to calm down since the last episode, but if you're curious, you can go check that episode out.
It's quite frightening.
A little bit.
So are they expecting to release all of the Smash Brothers Amiibo that are non-DLC characters before the end of this year?
So yeah, all the non-DLC characters should be out by September, from what I understand at this point. Lucas, Ryu, Mewtwo, and who's the other? Roy are going to be out next year.
Roy's our boy. Roy's our boy.
Roy is our boy. I love it. But, I mean, at least I'm happy Mewtwo's finally coming, and I'm happy that they finally actually showed him off in a way that wasn't, just concept art.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
If it's Amiibo related, I'm buying it, and especially if it's Mewtwo related, I'm gonna buy it. It's gonna be amazing. Yeah. So
all Amiibo.
All Amiibo.
Even Dark Amiibo.
Even Dark Skylander Amiibo, which is, I might draw the line there. I'm gonna cross that bridge when I get to it. I pre-ordered it.
Did?
I did.
That is not crossing the bridge when you come to it.
Yes, it is, because I can cancel it. I can cancel the pre-order.
You can, yeah, but you still made an attempt to get.
Better safe than sorry. I don't trust
your bases.
I do not trust Amiibo stock at all.
Okay.
If there's anybody who deserves to have that attitude about it, it's you.
I appreciate that.
You have your ear to the ground on Amiibo availability and releases, so it is with complete authority that you can say it's not reliable.
I'm going to quote you on that. Yeah. I appreciate it. speaking of complete reliability on this kind of thing, so we had a little bit of a breaking news story not too long ago. Our good friend Josh Brown from Toys for Gamescast ended up getting us some information about Palutena. We were able to get this from a source that we've actually trusted in the past to have very reliable Amiibo-related information. And they've confirmed to us that Palutena will not be a retail exclusive come July 31st, which is very soon, which is good news, I suppose. I think some people prefer retail exclusives. Some of the crazy hunters love that kind of thing.
They want the thrill. They want the thrill. And I have to say, it slashes our original theory that we thought it was going to be a retail exclusive at one point.
It doesn't make sense to me that it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, only 2 Amiibo are coming out on that day, Dark Pit and Lady Palutena.
Yeah.
And Dark Pit's, a retail exclusive already. It's just bizarre to me they're going to release 1 Amiibo, in a wide release that day.
Yeah.
But it looks like that's what they're doing. And it seems like the stock is going to be relatively high for this particular Amiibo.
That's pretty great. I mean, I'm happy for the people who've been really wanting her and everything, but it was definitely a surprise.
So what's your opinion on that? So I know you collect all these things too. So are you planning on getting Dark Pit and Palutena?
I went the import route because long before I knew that he was going to be an exclusive, of course, the rumors were circulating. As soon as they made the announcement, the very first day that it was available months in advance from other territories, I was like, importing, because with most of the capacity that I use these is with respect to Smash Supremacy.
Yeah.
And it's hard enough as it is to build matchups with just what's available that I didn't want to wait an extra 4 months to get Ganondorf. That was completely insane to me. And I feel sorry for the other countries with all these Americans depleting their supply. It almost seems like it would make more sense to dump all of your stock into America first so that we just buy it at home and then trickle it off so that the other countries can keep what they get allotted. I bought them from a game store in the UK. I have a friend who's from the UK, and I shipped him to his mom, and God bless her, she received them and sent them to me, and now I have them, and that's 4 more matches that I'm able to have, and they don't even come out till September. So I feel really good about the import on this one.
No, I don't blame you, and we talked about this last week too, and I just want to bring this up one more time. Nintendo, I think Nintendo knows what they're doing. The fact that the box art is different for the European release compared to the US release, I think that's calculated. Mm-hmm. So I mean, the US has a 6+ on the top right hand corner of it. The European has, I believe, just the name of the Amiibo, and then it says what number it is below that. But they know if they release these things in Europe and Japan early, they know that people like me, because I'm insane, are going to import them. And then they know that people like me, again, because I'm insane, want to have a complete in-box collection that is, all US, that all look the same. So after I already import them from another country, when they come out in the US, I'm probably going to buy another one. So I have the US box. I think it's a calculated decision by Nintendo to double dip in Amiibo. And
I guess that's possible because I obviously have to open them all to use them.
Yeah.
The box art doesn't really matter to me. I do save the boxes because they look amazing, and you can pretty much get your Amiibo out and keep the box relatively intact. But in my opinion, the UK boxes are superior in all ways. Having that little number in the corner just screams collectability. And if you don't know not to put this thing in the hands of somebody younger than 6, then you deserve to have it broken, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The thing with me is I do try to get a complete in-box collection and a complete out-of-box collection. So for me, importing them isn't a big deal because the import ones that I get, I just open. Like the Yoshi's Woolly World ones. I love these things so much. I'm so happy that I was able to import these things, and then when the US ones comes out, I can have the boxed ones of these. But yeah, I think it's a calculated thing on their part. But I'm excited, though, that it looks like the retail exclusive thing is kind of getting better, at least in my opinion. Toys R Us nailed it.
Yeah.
There was so many Greninjas at the launch for our Toys R Us that, I mean, they had them left over for like over a day, which was outstanding.
They set
That's
the bar.
crazy. That was not what it was like for me.
Really?
I happened to be staying with my parents when that release happened, and so I went to Target first, obviously, because they open up and I needed to get my hands on a Jiggles. And so my brother and I walk in, and we got the second to last Jigglypuff. And that made me feel pretty good. They had a fair amount of stock, and there were maybe 20 people ahead of me in line. And we walked over to Toys R Us, and they had 0 Greninja.
Wow.
Oh, no.
So as you guys know, California is 2 hours behind the Midwest.
Yeah.
So I got on the phone with my wife and I said, "Hey wife, there's a rumor that in Southern California, Toys R Us have as many as 100 Amiibo, and this one has 0, and I need a Greninja. So I know that I am bothering you with Amiibo talk constantly." You guys are celebrities in this house because every day I'm like, "Hey wife, so today on Amiibo News," and it got so bad that at some point she was like, "Okay, what happened today in the world of Amiibo?" So I call her up and say, "Can you please go to Toys R Us and please be there at least an hour early and let me know what happens?" And fortunately out here, there were some 100. They did sell them all through right away. But she did get one, so that was great. But it was amazing to me that particular Toys R Us did not even have one.
That's surprising.
I think it's actually a good indication and a good representation that it varies from location to location. So, and especially because, you're out on the West Coast and you being out there, the stock is going to vary because of the population and the demand for them. So, I mean, we're out in really kind of like more of the suburbs.
Yeah.
So the demand isn't going to be as high. And it's like I said, it's going to vary from location to location.
No, I hear some people say that they hate Toys R Us exclusives or any exclusives because there's not a store within driving distance of where they are.
Yeah.
And I totally get that. Out here, it's kind of a different plight where I have accessibility to every store in abundance. Like there's 15 Toys R Us's within driving distance of me. But the challenge then comes of hedging your bet. Like which one are you going to go to? Because you can go to one and it has a line of 60 people.
Yeah.
You turn around, go to another one, it has a line of 20 people. You could drive to another one. And so it's like a week of calling, "Hey, what do you think your inventory is going to be like?" And people get so sick of it. You even say the word Amiibo and GameStop clicks you. They're like, "Forget that. We are not talking about this." Which I get. I would hate Amiibo if I worked at a place like GameStop.
Yeah.
No, I completely get that at that point too. GameStop changed their policy not too long ago where they don't hold them for people on the phone anyway. Yeah. So I think that might help to a certain extent. But things are pretty crazy with the retail exclusives at this point. Jigglypuff went back up at Target 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And it's still up,
right?
It's
still up right now. That's crazy to me.
And Rosalina was up for...
It was a long time.
Almost like 14 hours.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those 2 retail exclusives were good to go. GameStop restocked Ness, both online, which Ness lasted online the first time about 10 minutes.
Okay.
And they put him up a second time during the day, and it was up for about an hour and a half, something like that.
That's just still shocking to me compared to the original release.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a disaster. So...
Oh, crazy disaster.
Yes. The fact that he was up for even just 10 minutes is shocking.
Yeah. So, I mean, at this point, and then stores got replenished Ness. There's still photos showing up online of, like, people walking into GameStop, and there's Ness there.
Yeah.
Most stores got, like, 10, 15, but there's a lot of GameStops. So, I mean, I think it's a good indication of where I think retail exclusives are going to go. Best Buy announced last week that they're not holding an online pre-order at all for Dark Pit. It won't be sold online whatsoever, so it's only in stores. So
okay, see, now that to me is the first retail exclusive that from a business standpoint makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like the whole point of having an item exclusively offered at your store is so that you can drive up traffic to your store. And putting it online is not going to do that because people are in such a whipped up frenzy of even hoping that they can check out. I've had Amiibos in my cart like 100 times and it sold out before I was able to complete the transaction. So there's no way people are going to combine shipping with other items. So you're not selling anything extra. But if you make people come to your store, then maybe they're like, "Oh yeah, I would like this extra game," or "Look at that Blu-ray's on sale."
Yeah. I can.
So hopefully they sell some $14 piece of plastic, and they can also move more merchandise because people feel a little bit confident to take their time once they have Dark Pit in hand.
Definitely.
No,
Yeah.
I can.
Oh yeah, more dark amiibos.
You must love this, Dark TJ. You have to love this.
Yeah, any amiibo that is the dark representation of the so-called hero, that's what it's all about.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I
how
can't
feel
wait for
about this
Dark
too.
Yoshi to come out so he can rain fury upon all the other lame Yoshi.
Oh, that is super harsh, man. I don't know how I can feel about that.
I'm kind of behind it because I think it's pretty drastic. Drastic change in the Yoshi world.
He's drastic. Sometimes I don't know where he gets it.
Come on, Sonic has Shadow. Even Mario had that weird dark guy from Mario Paint and Splat or whatever the heck it was called.
Oh my god, I don't even know
Mario.
that.
I know. I'm news to me. Too.
I'm out of the loop there.
Mario Sunshine, the bad
Yeah, oh
guy.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That was he like Dark Mario? He was kind of clear and transparent, wasn't he? Like, wasn't he bluish?
Fine. Dark.
Oh, whatever.
I love it.
We have that. We have Palutena apparently not being a retail exclusive. We're waiting for like an official Nintendo confirmation on that.
I saw your guys' super cool unboxing video, and you did the close-up of Palutena's face.
Yeah.
Yes.
And as I was opening mine, I'm thinking, I wonder if mine's going to be a little bit derpy too.
Yeah.
But mine actually looks beautiful. Mine looks every bit the goddess she's supposed to be.
I think we just got unlucky.
We did. So I have to ask you. So does that mean like the nose is just more defined? Would you say?
It wasn't really so much the nose; it was the angle of the eyes.
Okay.
Like it looks like the eye print on the ones that you guys have. The outside corners have a slight downward
Yeah.
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 dip, and I'm not gonna say that mine doesn't, but it didn't look as like I would never look at it and think it wasn't well printed. I look at it, I'm
Okay.
like, wow, that's impressive detail.
Yeah, because at first glance for me, I thought it was the eyes. But then when I was taking a closer look after we did the video, I noticed it was the combination of the eyes and then the nose too. That was it was less defined and it made the eyes even more derpy. So I wasn't sure if all of them were going to turn out that way.
I love we're calling it derpy.
I know we probably should.
I love it, derpy.
It's very My Little Pony.
It's a term that everybody knows. Like it's
Yeah.
something that has a very clear connotation.
Totally.
I'm looking at mine right now, and the nose looks pretty defined.
Okay.
I think we called ours Barbara Streisand.
Yes, you did. Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Sorry, Barbara Streisand. I know you're a fan of the show, so nothing on
Keeping
you.
it classy.
Always.
Always.
So I got to ask you guys about this. So a couple days ago, we got these images from a Chinese auction site, the same auction site that had leaked the NES amiibo and leaked all these supposed prototype amiibo. And we got to get our first view of a retail package for the Game & Watch amiibo.
Yeah.
So Mr. Game & Watch. I think it's kind of cool. So you can actually see that one of the poses is on the stand already. There's one in the background with a parachute, and the other two poses are kind of just hanging out on the bottom of the box. But I think people kind of expected there to be a little bit more, I don't know, display or fanfare to it, because for out-of-box collectors, you can't even see two of the poses.
Yeah.
They're kind of hiding on the bottom of the box. What's your thought on that?
Well, as far as my thoughts go, I don't mind the one in the backdrop. I think that one is actually pretty classy. It's positioned well, so you can see it with the actual amiibo in the stand up front. What bothers me though are the pieces on the bottom.
Yeah.
I don't really care for the positioning of that. I understand for practical reasons why they're there, but I kind of would rather have like a white platform over them, even though I understand that it's important that they show all the pieces included in the set.
Yeah.
But aesthetically, I'm not very happy with it. I get it, but not completely my thing.
I'm just
Because I'm
wondering.
going to open that box up, it doesn't really bother me at all. But looking at it, I'm not entirely, and I could be wrong, but I'm not entirely convinced that this is what it looks like. Because
Okay.
we've seen amiibos before where Mario is twisted sideways in his box. It wouldn't surprise me if those ones that are on the floor dropped from being displayed somewhere on that back.
Could be. It could be. I'm just wondering if the back of it would have enough room for all 4 poses, but it kind of looked like it was like pretty solid on the bottom of that box, though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think anytime you deal with like Chinese auction sites, you kind of have to take it a bit with a grain of salt. So I guess we're going to kind of get a good idea what this is going to look like in the next few weeks. So I'm guessing we're going to see...
For your out-of-box collection, Jason, are you going to buy 4 of them?
Oh.
No. So number one, the community would like crucify me if I did that.
Yes, they would.
And number two, I can't justify it. I just can't. I think that it's a really cool amiibo, and Mr. Game & Watch is one of my favorite characters. But I just can't justify it.
If somebody really wanted to make some extra dough, they should just develop a platform that you can click those other guys in and sell it for $250.
Do you think we should 3D print some of those?
Yeah.
Dark TJ, you wanted to get on that? I'll give you like 50%.
I'll collect the money. You guys do all the hard work.
All right, that sounds fair.
Yes.
That sounds fair.
You do 100% of the work, and I'll collect 100% of the proceeds. See? We're both doing 100%.
That's about right.
So fair.
I got to get Dark TJ's perspective on this next story. This is our last Amiibo-related story for the evening. So we all know about the Skylander Amiibo crossover that's happening, and you might know, like when we did our E3 episode, I was kind of against it to a certain extent, but I played the game and it's not bad. I actually think it's kind of interesting. What I'm kind of freaking out about a bit is they announced this Dark Edition starter pack. And there's 2 different varieties of this. So the Wii U version has Donkey Kong, and there is a version for the 3DS and the Wii that's called Skylanders Superchargers Racing that has Bowser. And now there are variant colors of these amiibo. So you have to buy 2 starter packs for each system. So a total of 4 starter packs if you want to get all 4 of the amiibo variants in this. Mm-hmm. This sounds something that would be like right up Dark TJ's alley because he's, crazy like that. I think that he's probably laughing his head off at this point. So I guess we'll get your perspective first.
It's simple. Nobody's going to buy all of those starter sets unless you are fanatically insane. So pretty much just you.
Just me.
Now, as far as normal humans who just want to get a couple of these and play the game, it's obvious. Just get the dark ones.
That sounds about right.
Yep. No surprise there.
So it is pretty cruel to release it. I'm still holding out hope that at some point for the people who really want to have a Donkey Kong and a Bowser and who want to have the variants too, that there's going to be another way to try to attain them, because it is absurd to expect people to buy duplicate copies of the game.
They know what they're doing, though.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm sure that there will be people who do it, but I'm thinking about like 12-year-old Billy who just really wants to play as his Dark Donkey Kong, but he's not going to save 2 months worth of allowance to buy that thing. That's crazy.
It is. It really is. They're expensive.
Yeah.
That's the thing that gets me. I mean, if you're a real collector, getting all 4 of these is going to cost a pretty penny on top of all the other amiibo and everything else related.
Jason Greer did some loose math, and it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Starter packs are $74.99 for the standard ones. $99.99 for the Dark Editions. I think Target had them on sale when they first went up for $74.99. So the best bet that you can get at this point is pay $300 for 4 starter packs. And that's if you get them on sale. Otherwise, you're going to be spending a little bit more, like $350 to get all 4, which is obscene. It's absolutely
and it's a little bit worse for Skylanders collectors because they also need to buy other starter packs to collect other exclusive Skylanders figures.
But it's in traditional Lauren fashion. I'm going to let you take this.
Yes.
It's a business decision, right, Lauren?
It is totally a business decision.
Get your business hat on.
I know. Now, we're not talking about, this time at least, releases overseas versus U.S., but at the same time, it's a business decision. I guess the thing that makes me a little uncomfortable about it is that Skylanders, unlike Amiibo, I think appeals more to the younger demographic. Would you say that? Would you say it's a younger demographic?
I would totally say that.
Okay, because Amiibo collectors, I know, they're children, but they're also heavily in the adult range too. So to know that the Skylanders something geared towards children is so pricey. I don't know, it makes me a little uncomfortable in that way, but I don't know, I guess it's just one of those things that we're going to have to get used to maybe from now on.
I'm with you on it being very smart to push the game that way, because there are a lot of Amiibo collectors who are never going to play a single frame of that game, but buy it just for the Amiibo. But where it starts to cross over into what I think is disrespectful to the consumer base is when you make multiple exclusives only attainable by repurchasing the game. That just doesn't make any sense, because now you're forcing people to either choose which one they want or buy a duplicate copy. And anytime you put a customer in a position where they have to do that, it shows a lot of lack of taste, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I agree.
Oh man, you guys agree?
Whoa, that's weird.
It's rare, but so far we agree that scalpers are the devil. And
I love it.
buying more than one Skylander / Sky Amiibo or whatever they're called is just plain cruel.
That's so good.
I think that's about accurate.
Yes. I can't get much better than that.
So I think one thing that I've noticed right away is, with at least the Amiibo news community, a good majority of people said they're just not touching these things.
Yeah.
They don't consider them to be Amiibo, but they are.
Yes.
I'm a realist. They are Amiibo. I'm hoping I can maybe convince Activision to send over some review copies for me. They probably
will.
They probably won't.
Oh.
Flex that Amiibo news muscle.
You got
know.
You got the goods. Flaunt the stuff. They'll come your way.
I don't know if that'll work. I'd love for it to work, but I don't think that would work. But,
tell them you know Dark TJ. They'll send you that whole Dark set.
All right. I'll try that. I'll let you know how it goes.
Be like, excuse me, I am close and personal friends with the future president of the United States, Dark TJ.
I didn't even know. Do you qualify? Are you an American citizen, sir?
Well,
I haven't seen your birth certificate.
It's gonna be the next big controversy. It'll be like Dark TJ Gate.
I can see that.
I'm fully committed to my entire term in office to be riddled with controversy.
Oh wow.
But free Amiibo for all.
That's a lofty goal.
I was gonna say you're gonna get a lot of votes with that.
I think you would.
Yeah.
Well, I think most of the people that would vote for him.
All you have to do is completely surrender your hearts and minds to my will.
Oh gosh, that's a lot of sacrificing. I don't know.
For free Amiibo though, that seems fair.
Yeah, that's true.
I can dig that.
I feel like people are
including retail exclusives.
Man, but that
I'll vote for you.
I don't even know how to transition out of this at this point. I feel like we're just trapped in this loop now. But that's it for our content. That's all the Amiibo related content that we had this week. I do want to end this, as we always do, with a segment we like to call the Amiibo News Speed Round. So if you're familiar with the Speed Round, we take a look at questions we ask our Twitter community about what they'd like us to talk about having to do with Amiibo or Nintendo related topics. We try to make it quick. Doesn't necessarily always end up that way.
I think our fans are aware of this.
But we have a decent amount of questions at this point. We're going to start off here with Skull Shirtugal 2CG.
Yes.
We're off to a good start there, Jason.
Yes.
He's got some Pokemon. I think is his icon. I'm sorry if I butchered your name completely. Oh. You know who you are. Do you feel like it's worth getting a 3DS NFC reader? Yes, I do. If you don't have a new 3DS, get yourself the NFC reader. I think the Animal Crossing Amiibo cards are going to be amazing when they come out.
Yes.
So, yeah, if you plan on...
And hello, Smash Brothers!
Oh, yeah, totally.
And Smash Brothers, I suppose.
And as far as I go, I don't own a new 3DS yet. I'm still hooked on my Animal Crossing New Leaf 3DS XL. And
your Pop-Tart?
My Pop-Tart, I love that nickname for it, by the way, and I always refer to it as the Pop-Tart. But yeah, I plan to pick up the NFC reader first day, first release, so gotta get it.
For sure. That wasn't bad. We didn't spend too much time on this one. So we have another one from Brickmaster B. That one's easy. I got that one. He's got SpongeBob with Elvis hair, I think. This is his icon here. What's going to be the rarest Amiibo for Wave 5? Also, what is it now? The rarest Amiibo for Wave 5, I'm going to say, is going to be Zero Suit Samus. Mm-hmm. I don't know why I feel like it's going to be that way, but I feel like that's how it is in the other territories at this point. She is the most expensive currently. We have something called the Amazon Import Price Tracker that we update relatively frequently on our website, and we've been tracking Wave 5 prices for some time now, and Zero Suit Samus seems to be the only one that is not consistently dropping.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, what exactly is considered Wave 5 in the States? Is it Ganondorf, Palutena, Dark Pit, and Zero Suit Samus?
That's how I'm taking it. Well, I don't know, because everything is pretty much coming out September 1st at this point, and it's a massive amount of other things too. So I have no idea if we want to consider Wave 5 just to be Palutena and Dark Pits, or if that's Wave 5A, and then Wave 5B is going to be what comes in September. But I don't know. I think I'm going to drop waves in the U.S. None of it makes sense to me anymore. So I don't even know. I'm just judging it at least at this point, for how Europe is doing it.
Yeah.
And because of how crazy it is that Dark Pit and Palutena are being released simultaneously, and one of them's a retail exclusive, we have no idea if Zero Suit Samus will be. I'm sure Ganondorf won't be, but Zero Suit Samus is... some people might even consider her to be an additional version of Samus, so she could very easily be a retail exclusive.
Definitely.
For sure.
And if that happens, you are for sure right.
So what else we have? We have N.E. Borger. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Yeah, I got that right.
Yeah.
If you had to pick one or two amiibo from the next wave that would be worth paying extra to import, what would it be? I'm just going to assume that Rob is considered a part of the next wave.
That's what I would say.
So I would say the variant color of Rob the Robot from the Japanese region. That thing is going to go so quick when it hits Play Asia, Yes Asia, and eBay. I think that Nintendo needs to release it here too. They need to, and they're not going to.
Yeah.
I think when we went to E3, they said Japanese.
Yeah.
Like it actually had a little sign below the amiibo that said Japan only. So
Japan loves its exclusives, and in a way, I think it just prides itself on them. So I just thinking about it now, it's a little frightening to me to think that it's going to be so hard to get, but seeing it in person makes me think it's going to be worthwhile at the same time.
So Lauren and I are on the same page. So what do you think is going to be the one to import from the next wave?
Well, I definitely think that Rob is the most bang for your buck, because it's the only one that offers you something unique in terms of overseas amiibo. But it almost makes sense to make that one available here in the States too, because you can make money hand over fist. You know people would buy both versions, so it would in no way surprise me if it was not released. But I think that it's crazy not to.
Yeah. No, I'm completely in agreement with you on that one.
It's like leaving money on the table. Why would you do that? If your whole goal is to run a profitable company, you would want to release the product that's in demand in every country.
Yes, definitely.
But you have to keep the hype alive.
Yeah.
We've talked about this a few times too, but I still stand behind, if there was a massive amount of every amiibo, they wouldn't sell the way they do now.
I'm sure that's true, because I freaked out once I realized some of these were not. I was of course intending to buy them all because I need them for my purposes.
Yeah.
But I wasn't in any kind of mad hurry, so I only pre-ordered Link and Donkey Kong, Mario, and maybe Pikachu.
Yeah.
And then the next couple days, as things started to go down, I'm like, I need to get all these now, or I might never be able to get them. So it definitely had that effect on me.
Yeah.
I probably didn't spend any more money. Well, I should say Nintendo didn't get any more of my money than they would have otherwise. I spent more money because I had to acquire them through alternate means. But yeah, that definitely has something to do with their desirability, is the fear that if you don't get them when you can, you'll never be able to.
For sure. So we have a couple other questions here too, and I just want to address this. A majority of the questions we got were about Satoru Iwata's passing, unfortunately. And I do want to touch on a few of these. A couple people asked if it would be interesting to have an Iwata amiibo as kind of a segue, not a segue, but just kind of a memorial for him. I don't know how I feel about that at this point. Everything is so new.
Yeah.
At this point,
Yeah.
I think it would just be like...
To me, it's a little morbid.
Yeah.
I guess a little bit. Maybe not right now. It's still so. Like you said, the news is so fresh right now. It hasn't fully sunk in. So give it time, and then I guess maybe it's something to look back on later.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting to see, kind kind of like a amiibo for pretty much all of the like higher ups at Nintendo.
Yeah.
And if they ever do go that route, I could totally see something like that selling well.
That's fair. A good compromise, yeah.
So for sure.
And most of them are already in our VIP lounge on the 3DS anyway, because they Street Pass us. So we have little me versions of many members of the Nintendo team.
Yeah. That's true.
But I mean, again, we had obviously the community is very, very shocked at what happened, and a lot of these questions we're not going to address at this point because it just doesn't seem necessarily remarkably appropriate to go into a lot of the questions about what it's going to do to Amiibo sales or anything like that, because this isn't the time to worry really about Amiibo sales. But Nintendo's going to survive this.
Yes.
And Nintendo has always had leadership that took very, very good initiative, and we have that in the U.S. with Reggie, and I'm sure that Japan is going to find somebody again that's going to be able to really fill those really huge shoes. So,
I have no doubt.
For sure. So I think that's where we're going to leave the speed round for the time being. Before we go, though, TJ, I want to give you the opportunity to say where we can find you currently, and you can talk about whatever you want to.
All right. I am really honored to be a part of the Nintendo Inquirer family now, and you can find all of the new videos, and it sounds like some of the past episodes are also going to be available on the Amiibo News YouTube page. So I hope you'll come and visit us right there. And if sweet Amiibo battle action isn't enough to bring you our way,
then definitely this handsome mug will. Because not only do I know everything about everything, but I am your future Shadow Overlord.
Don't listen to him. Now, Amiibo are super fun, super cool, and they have incredible functionality where Smash Brothers is concerned. And so we really wanted to determine which of these Nintendo characters is the ultimate, and how better to do that than with Nintendo's very own Amiibo of each figure. So that's what Smash Supremacy is all about, and what makes it fun for us is for you to become a part of it. It's not just our show, it's our contribution to the Nintendo Smash Brothers Amiibo community, and we hope that you'll jump on board and help us make the show as amazing as it can be, because we can't do it without you.
So can we give a little spoiler at this point? Can you tell us who's going to be on the next episode?
Oh, you are not going to believe this. It is perhaps our most amazing guest to date. No offense, Jason. You were an amazing guest in the last episode.
That's okay.
But coming up next, we have the one, the only, from Nintendo Inquirer, Lauren.
Yay!
Oh, yeah.
I am stoked about this. Like, I was excited to begin with, but every single time Jason has brought it up to me since then, I get more and more excited about it. And honestly, I'm a little nervous.
Yeah. One of the things that I think people should know is that the results in the show are in no way rigged or fixed. They are 100% genuine, and any special guest has no idea. I don't even have any idea how it's going to be until we find out at the end of it. So their predictions are 100% as genuine as yours are. So in each episode, you can predict who you think is going to win. Please do it, because it's fascinating to me to see the difference between who the special guest thinks is going to win, who I think is going to win, who I think's going to win, and who actually wins.
I love that. There's so much going into every single episode, and the quality of the show and the craftsmanship put into the graphics and every single element in the show. It's just incredible, and I am extremely honored to be on this, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it.
Don't forget the unbridled handsomeness of one of the hosts.
I could never deny you, Dark TJ, so thank you for coming on our show.
The pleasure is all yours.
It's true, it is all mine.
We really appreciate you guys having us on. It's super fun, and again, we cannot thank you enough for letting us become part of the team.
It's going to be fun, trust me. I promise this is going to be a blast for everybody.
Yeah.
So
and a blast for you guys too. So
for sure,
come on, jump on board.
Woo.
Lauren, where can we find you?
You can find me at Happily Candied on Twitter. I also have my personal website, happilycandied.com, that is linked in my personal Twitter account. I love talking with people. I love seeing what people think about Amiibo News and Nintendo Inquirer, so feel free to reply to me, mention me, and I'll try to get back to you.
And for me, you can find my personal Twitter account at Amiibo Jason. Our main Twitter account, Amiibo News. We have NintendoInquirer.com, where you can find everything Amiibo and Nintendo related 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And we have a Twitter account for that one as well, which is at NintendoINQ. So that's where you can find me. We had a blast on this episode. I appreciate everybody that took the time to listen to this, and we're going to be back next week with another fun-filled Amiibo-based episode.
Woo!
So thank you, everybody. I hope you have a good night or a good morning, depending on when you're listening to this, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye,
Later.
guys.
Dark side out.